Real talk, the Metaphor Messiah, man. I got this one. Let's go. You ever seen the morning star? Mr. Metaphor Messiah, back to show you who we are. I represent a legacy, a pothead like the 70s, a different kind of mind. They say we only speak in melodies.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy, Dead on Dave, coming at you live from Germany, baby. And it is Dead on Dave Live. Yes, I know, a little bit earlier. It's an hour earlier today, but that's okay. Tommy C's off the air for the next couple of weeks. So it's a good opportunity for me to go a little bit earlier, get a little bit extra rest. A little bit extra rest for your boy. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's Monday, beginning of our broadcast week, and there's all kinds of things to talk about. We're going to take your calls. We're going to take your questions, your hopes, your dreams, your likes, your loves, your quips, your quotes, and all of that good stuff. But I got a couple things I want to talk about first. We're going to get in some wrestling a little bit later on. I do want to talk about the Kurt Angle situation in WWE right now. I find it fascinating, not just because of the angle that I ultimately think is going to be a disappointment, but because of all the rumors that are going on right now. I mean, people are going really outside of the box, and I do want to talk about that. But what I'd like to open with is Game of Thrones returning. I'm going to try to keep it as spoiler-free as humanly possible. And when we do have spoilers, I am going to just give you a little warning, give you a little countdown, all that shebang-a-bang, so you don't get spoiled on Game of Thrones. But Game of Thrones is back, guys. It's back, and it's freaking amazing. Look, when Game of Thrones every year comes out, you get a 10-week little run of love, of goodness, of greatness, and then it goes away for a year, and it sucks. It hurts your soul how long it's gone. But then every year it comes back, and it just says, here, take this gift, enjoy it, cherish it, because there's not that many episodes. So this season, being one of the final 2 seasons, only has 7 episodes, and next season will have 6, or it's reversed. I'm not sure which. But supposedly, they're supposed to be longer. This episode was not longer. It was about an hour, the same as always, and that included about a 3.5 to 5 minute intro that kind of recapped everything that happened in the first 6 seasons. That's the first thing I want to talk about. Not going into too many spoilers as far as what was shown in that, but I think what you saw there in that first 5 minutes, that recap, is kind of a good indication of everything that we're going to see this season. I think every single person that we saw, we're going to see a little bit of an extra wrap. We're going to see a little bit of extra news about it. We're going to see finishing storylines. And it began in this episode. It began right here in the first episode of season 7, where they started to wrap up the storylines that were started seasons ago. We saw characters in this episode that we haven't seen in a long time. And even when we had seen them, it was very briefly. The Brothers Without Borders, for example, perfect. Or Banners, Brothers Without Banners. That's a perfect example. Perfect example of people that were used so well in the early seasons, and then we saw a very, very light sprinkling of, I think, last season. But that was it. We got a good dose of them tonight, and that was a lot, or last night. It was very fun. It was cool. It was a good storyline. Everything was well thought out. All the storylines were great, but there is one thing that I want to talk about more than anything else. Will Heron asks, before I do that, sup, Dave, what do you think about Cersei just letting Dany have Dragonstone? No resistance or tearing it down? I don't think they could have got the Dragonstone in time. Here's the thing. That's all strategy. Cersei doesn't have much of an army. They're screwed. Even with Euron Greyjoy, they're screwed. They're screwed. They're just too many enemies out there. They're absolutely dicked. They're dicked to the nines. And I think they know that. If they go and they attack the big bulk of the army that's over at Dragonstone, they're dead. Because anybody else could just move right in and take King's Landing. So that's not even a worry. So there's no reason to think about that. But one thing that I want to talk about, and this is slight spoilers, but not a lot. Arya. Arya had an amazing episode. I was enthralled with Arya Stark in this episode. They opened the show with Arya, and without giving away too much, they wrap up a huge storyline, and it was awesome. Loved it. They wrapped up something that's been going since they haven't fully wrapped it up, but there was a big payoff from something that happened in season 2. And I loved that. I did. I thought it was very well done. So you have Arya going on through what she did at the opening sequence, but then she would continue on traveling, and we see her run into, which I think are House Lannister soldiers. And the scene was really interesting, and not big spoilers here, but if you don't want to know anything, cover your ears, mute the stream. Don't turn off the stream. I need the duration. Fucking come on. Give me some love here. But it was one of my favorite scenes in the entire series. This is such a great scene. Arya goes to the campfire of these singing soldiers. I believe they are Lannister soldiers. At least that's what they were dressed as. I believe they were. Or King's Landing soldiers at the very least. So she enters in there, and one of them, of course, is, I'm in love with the shape of you. I push and pull like a magnet too. I forgot his fucking name, so I'm gonna sing that douchebag song. I couldn't remember his goddamn name. Saved life for me. What's his name? What's that douche's name with the big head? Yeah, there we go. Ed Sheeran. He was part of it. So Arya goes into this group of soldiers, and she's a girl, and they're talking about women. They're actually singing a song about women. So, like, they set the tone of this scene as kind of dark and maybe foreboding for Arya, which is kind of the point, because she's becoming this dark character. And you see at the beginning of the scene, Arya is scouting everybody. They show her looking at the swords, that the swords are not close to the person, and all of that stuff, right? It's such a good scene because we see her calculating and seeing if she could kill all these soldiers, which I'm pretty sure all of us think that she can at this point. And then she starts listening to all the stories. Everybody's got this story. One is basically offering her taster's choice. Would you like penis or balls? He's being very sweet. They're offering her wine and food. They're not seeming to be like normal, typical soldiers that she has kind of run into up until this point. So what we see in this sequence, which is so goddamn great, is the fact that Arya is not a monster. And they kind of showed that in the first scene of who she didn't enact revenge on, but even then that could be construed in different ways. But in this scene, they showed that Arya is still Arya, and I love that. I think it was such an important scene because I think a lot of people were thinking about everything that she went through in season 6. It kind of broke Arya, and we were going to get a different Arya. A lot of people were even speculating that this is not Arya. I think that's been laid to rest now. And I think it was amazing. I think the scene was absolutely incredible. It was one of my favorite scenes that Game of Thrones has ever done that did not include violence or gore or sex or any of that. It was just a well-written, well-acted, and well-directed scene. It was awesome, and I loved it. I really did. I thought it was very special. The other thing that we saw was we saw a lot of people coming. We saw Jon and Sansa. That was a huge thing that we saw in this episode. The paradigm shifting between them and who Sansa is becoming. I fell in love with Sansa Stark in this episode. Absolutely fell in love. I'm sorry, Chrissy. I wish I could just. I'll take questions in a second. I'm so sorry, Chrissy. So, what was really cool about it was that we saw Sansa kind of challenge Jon, and then Jon make the most sense in the world. I think that what they did throughout the scenes with Sansa is they showed, first off, she's still very naive and she's still very short-sighted, and Jon still knows best. I think that was kind of cool. Then they showed the wisdom of Sansa, seeing right through Littlefinger's bullshit. Loved that. I'm really falling in love with Sansa. Really am. Jon did a great job in this episode. Everything was just well done. It was almost a perfect episode. It was absolutely brilliant. I loved it. I thought it was just a great, great episode. Kind of light on the violence after the opening scene. But other than that, I mean, this was just, it's a great setup episode. And we know shit's about to happen. And we know shit's about to go down. It's pretty crazy. And it's just one of those really, really cool things. Now, I want to kind of curtail the Game of Thrones talk at this point, but I want to go to calls. I want to take calls on Game of Thrones. If you have calls, questions on Game of Thrones, you just want to talk about Game of Thrones, now's the time. I want you to come into my Discord, waiting to call, or call on Skype, David Vancura, DavidVancura, or of course that number, 702-751-2902. And I want to get your thoughts on Game of Thrones. What did you think of the season 7 premiere? Did it live up to the hype? Did it fall flat? What do you think? Let me know. Let's go into Discord. I'm going to take calls now. Let me tell them. Okay. Gonna take calls now. Okay, so you guys can unmute. Let's go ahead and go to someone who's waiting. Will Woot, you're live with Dead on Dave. What do you got in regards to Game of Thrones?
Oh, hey, buddy. Yeah, I just wanted to gush about Game of Thrones, to be honest.
Yeah.
I've been rewatching it with my girlfriend because she hasn't seen it. We're up to season 4, and she was like, we're gonna try and get through all the episodes really quickly as soon as we can, so that you don't have to wait long to watch season 7 with me. And I was like, I'm not waiting to watch season 7. I'll watch it on my own, and then I'll watch it with you again later.
That's what I've done a lot with my wife. Is I've watched it on my own, then rewatched it with her.
Oh yeah, I've rewatched it this must be like my 4th time now. Now I'm watching it with her. It's great. Yeah, I loved it. I was basically just going to mirror everything you said about that. Ed Sheeran surprised me. Didn't expect him to be in there. And there was I don't know if you know Thomas Turgoose. He was one of the other soldiers.
Yeah.
He's an actor in like This Is England and stuff like that.
It was a cool scene. That whole scene was really cool. And we're going to try to keep spoilers light now because people are coming back in.
Yes.
But it was really, really cool. I thought it was just, I love that scene. I thought it was a great scene.
Yeah, because I wouldn't say, touch on that a little bit as well, because up until, as far as I can remember, up until now, every depiction of a Lannister soldier, can I swear? How far
of course.
can I go?
Fuck shit, ball sick. Fuck
okay, every depiction of a Lannister soldier up until this point has been a real horrible cunt.
Basically, yeah.
Like just killing for no reason, raping, etc., etc. So it was nice to see ones that are a bit younger and nicer, and just being nice to Arya, because I totally expected them to kill her or try and rape her or something like that.
Yeah, I think she expected that too. That's why she scouted him out the way she did. I love the way that they built the scene. It was just very cool.
Yeah, it was cool to show like how, even though they are on the Lannisters, which is from a lot of perspective the bad guys, they're still good people within that army, you know.
Yeah, I think that was something they needed to show, and these people didn't. I mean, they basically called King's Landing hell. You know, it was just a really cool scene, and it was one of those things that I think sets the entire mood for not even this episode. I say for the entire season, because it gives you something to think about. That every time that something happens with, and it could be even foreboding as far as what's going to happen. For foreshadowing, I should say, with what's going to happen with the Lannister army, you got to figure they got about have enough of this shit, you know.
Yeah, no, it's like they'll maybe, because even Jamie said we are I don't know, it's not much of, okay, even Jamie said like at the moment we look like we're on the losing side, you know. So that must be trickling down to the soldiers to some extent.
Oh, it has to.
I do realize
it has to be. It's a very interesting thing. I love the episode. I thought it was brilliantly well done, and I'm just pissed off that I don't have another one to watch right fucking now.
Yeah,
going crazy.
Yeah, I hate this having to wait a week every time.
Well, as Tom Petty once said, the waiting is the hardest part. So
I do agree. No, it's great. I loved it. It was a great episode. I loved that bit at the start. Again, because you said I won't say what exactly happened in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But
what a payoff! What a payoff!
Oh yeah, dude, totally. I
still don't understand, and this really isn't a spoiler for this, but just in general, I don't understand how the faceless men changed their voice. I mean, I don't understand that. That's the one. Like, they don't have voice modifiers, but hey, I guess it's possible if you can wear a face.
Do they change their height? Do they change their height as well?
They change everything. They go to the height of the person. We've seen them be different heights. We've seen them change everything, and their faces are not just some mask. I mean, it's perfect. It's perfection. So, and the voices match. It's it's a little bit much, but this is a world of dragons and certain types of magics. We've seen demon babies, so I guess this really isn't that big of a deal. We've seen shadow demon children. I guess it's not that there's the army of the dead coming at the wall right now. So I guess it's not that big. You know, what are we talking about? Really?
Don't get on about Aya changing to the size of other people when there's the next scene is a giant zombie.
Yeah.
No army.
Was that what's his name? It seemed like they showed him for a reason. Was that
I think it was it was meant to be one of the giants that was.
I think it was the giant that was with John and everybody. I think that was the point of that. What's his name?
Yeah.
Damn it.
I can't remember his name.
I can't remember.
I bet Vega will.
Vega knows. He's in the chat. Vega said he's going to change his name to King Vega after kind of slaying Colossal is Crazy. Let's bring him in. Let's get him in on the fun. Hey, what's that goddamn giant's name, Vega? Vega.
Oh, yo.
What's that giant's name, man?
Oh, the giant's name? Fuck.
Do you remember his name?
Was like,
come on, dude.
It was like Eve or some crazy shit.
It was something like Bub or some shit like that. I can't remember. Yun Yun. Oh, was it Yun Yun? Yeah, it was Yun Yun. There we go.
Yeah, so you saying Bub reminded me.
Yeah, it was Yun Yun. Yeah, 1-1. Ben Yun.
Good
job, Ben
Yun.
1-1. That was his name.
1-1.
Yeah. What did you think of the episode last night, man?
Dude, I put that shit in chat. The episode was perfect.
Perfect.
The episode was perfect.
I agree.
Everything in that episode was all relevant big stories.
Yeah, it was.
Like they earned that episode. Like now it should be, if that's anything like what it's gonna look like for this season, I'm fucking all in, dude. That shit was amazing. I loved that fucking episode.
Why does it always come back to the best things about every fucking episode that features them ends up being Arya and the Hound? They were my favorite things from this episode. And that's not to say anything bad about anybody else, but their scenes were so good. Arya's was fantastic. That's one of my favorite scenes I've ever seen in Game of Thrones. But the Hound stole this episode. He was great, man. I loved everything about it. We saw so much.
The Hound story's really, really good. Like another redemption story. Like
really complex.
I think he had the best arc when he was outside and burying the bodies and he didn't change though. You know how they kind of make it dramatic where this person is like a completely different person after that two things that happen. Everything he does, even though he's like changing into this, or he wants to change into this good person, even his dialogue was still the Hound.
Yeah,
you know, like
calling everybody a cunt.
I don't remember
loved
the
it.
fucking words. You know, he's like, "I'm sorry, you're dead. You deserve better." And he walks away because he doesn't really know what to do. You know, but he's trying to do the right thing.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was an incredible. Every single one of those scenes were incredible. I mean, Sam to me has always been one of the scene that's kind of like,
we're
back
God,
here.
I forgot about that. What a great goddamn sequence.
That was a great sequence. Yeah, I said that last night when me and Kurtz watched it, and it was a fucking excellent sequence. I was like, wow, this is, because I'm sure like a director would watch it, or he would, as they're planning on how to shoot it, you could imagine somebody being like, okay, we don't want it to go too long, you know, but they had it so long that it started to make you a little uncomfortable, you know?
Yeah, it was like, who's the guy who directed, you know, like the kind of the train spotting thing where it's like the really quick scenes all put together when they do heroin or something like that. It was like all really quick mashed together and split together and everything.
Yeah, the entire that whole sequence, with the throwing up or the almost throwing up the retching and all that was a great thing. But not only that, I mean, they jammed a lot into Sam's scenes. I mean, a lot. We saw spoilers, guys. 3, 2, 1. Now it's your own fault. They showed us a lot. They showed us the baby getting bigger. They showed us a better looking and healthier. What's her name? Sam's little sweetheart.
I thought it was Sam.
Begins with a G.
Oh God, what's her name? Sam. Oh God. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But the wildling chick, man, she was great. She looks like she's getting healthy. That whole relationship's looking great. Of course, the big one, Jorah. Seeing Jorah there, that was the confirmation. What a lot of people thought from the trailer was that was Jorah. It sure the fuck was, and that was really cool. You got to figure Sam is going to be such a big linchpin in this season because he's figured out a huge thing with Dragonglass. and you got to figure he's probably going to end up curing grayscale as well. And I loved it. I love the Gilly. Thank you, Ben Young, on the fucking spot. Thank you so much. So what else?
I was trying to Google it and I said, fuck that.
Yeah, fuck it. No, luckily Ben Young is Johnny on the spot in there. Will, what else did you think about it? Give me your final thoughts on Game of Thrones, and I'm gonna talk with Vega for a few minutes.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I love it. I thought there was a good bit of like build up, and it's all building up, but there's like a lot of like payoffs as well with stuff like the start of the scene, Dany getting to where she is now, stuff like that, all setting up, but also concluding a lot of other things as well. I just want to say I saw a picture somewhere on Twitter in one of the books that Sam was reading. So they like closed up on it, and some of the words in there was saying something like dragonglass is a cure for. Like that's what it said. Dragonstone. So there's something like that, maybe.
Maybe dragonglass is the cure for grayscale.
Yeah, like maybe it's something that you can cut off the limbs or whatever with.
Interesting. All right, cool. Will, thank you very much for calling in. I appreciate you, man.
No worries, Dave. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. Have a good night. Veg, yeah, I wanted to keep you on for a little bit, if you have a couple of minutes, man, because so much, for sure. so much happened in this episode. My wife was basically crying the entire time, especially that entire sequence with Dany. That was incredible. That was no words up until the last thing that she says. Let's get started. That was good.
That was
so powerful. So powerful.
That's the best part about this episode is everything they did. They earned it through years of developing those characters. Dude.
Right.
Years of development and their interaction. And did you see the behind the scene or inside the episode?
No, I didn't. Not yet.
Yeah, dude. Just the way they were talking about it. If you go rewatch it on the HBO thing or whatever, you watch Dave and Dan talk about it, and they were like, what we wanted to do was no dialogue, just have everybody kind of like at arm's length, or just kind of fall back and let her experience this moment, because it's almost, we all forget too that, I don't think we all forget, but it almost slipped your mind that this is the first time she actually remembers.
Yeah.
She doesn't remember ever being on Westeros because she was a baby.
Yeah.
And she was growing up when we first found her, where we first saw her. She's never been to Westeros where she remembers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
that's
like
home.
taking a baby away from Mexico and then taking it back home when they're 21,
Right.
So it's a fucking, then when she came there and she saw that that's her ancestral seat and her family, that's what she'd been what is it, 7 years or something like that we've been watching her go through all this craziness, and now finally she lays eyes on it. Finally she's there. Like, I was like, dude, I didn't even want to say anything. While I was watching it, I was silent.
It was the little things too about the entire sequence with Grey Worm starting to make a move towards Dany when she was going up the steps and then being stopped.
Yeah.
I mean, just and who was making moves towards her and everything. Who was, it was just, there was so much telling about the scene. God, it was fucking beautifully directed, man. Everything about it just was, it made sense. There was purpose to it. Nothing was wasted. We've been going through this journey for so long, and her going home, that felt like a huge, huge payoff. And they set up so much. The first 5 minutes with that whole recap of everything, which I don't think they've ever done before. I don't remember that type of recap. I know they've done like little recaps, but nothing quite as extensive as that. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't remember it.
At the beginning?
Yeah, the first 5 minutes was all recap. And
yeah.
They recapped hard, and then they hit almost every one of those recap memories throughout the course of the episode. It's just, God,
they won't do it again, though.
No, I don't see them doing it again. I think it would get a little much, but still, I thought it was really cool to see. It was, God, that was a great episode. Fuck, I don't want to wait another week.
The dialogue.
Right.
The dialogue, like every single word and sentence, like you could pick either side of the conversation, and both of those people make sense, and they're both right in their own right. You know what I mean? Like, they're both correct. As they're arguing, yes, you could be like, he took that one for sure. But they're both really right.
Yeah.
Coming from where they are and their experience and who they are as a character, they are correct in what their argument is.
Yeah,
like Sansa
John,
and
perfect example.
Perfect example. You know, like fucking as she's talking, she's saying, you know, like you got to do this, you got to do that, or whatever. And she's coming from a place where she was actually the one that helped save the North, and now she's jealous.
A little bit. I think that she still has her own sensibilities. And what I liked about that scene is they gave the inclination that she was almost right and she almost won the room. And then John just dropped the fucking hammer. I love that because he hit with, it was infallible logic, what he came up with. It's like, it just showed as much growth as Sansa has gone through, she's still very short-sighted. And she might be too naive to do this job. John is the guy. And they solidified that. And I like the conversation that they had after. And then any misgivings that you might have had about Sansa was completely wiped away when she basically fucking played off fucking Littlefinger. It was brilliant. It was brilliant.
Yeah. She's not trying to do anything for that motherfucker. I mean, she realizes without him, she doesn't have that army because they're not his army, you know, or not Littlefinger. They're not the king's army.
No.
That's Littlefinger's army.
That's
you know
the Vale, yeah.
Yeah, so she can't say too much about his ass, but you know, fucking.
But she knows what he wants.
That last line that she, you no need to seize the last word.
God, that was such a good.
I'll assume it was something clever. And I was like, wow.
That's one of my favorite lines she's ever uttered, man. It was one of
almost
my
every single
lines.
last line in every single scene. What I think was the most powerful. Like, was it the first? The first one was the last line of the first scene with Arya is what is it? Fucking, she says, you as long as there's one wolf alive, the sheep are never safe.
Right.
Or something like that. It was something along those lines where I was like, wow, this bitch went crazy.
And once again, how about that little fucking trollop from Bear Island? Once again, having great lines.
She killed it.
What a scene stealer she is. I love her. I want her to be my kid. She's great, man.
Yeah.
And
she was a fucking, oh my God.
I did see a little bit of complaining of why are they going a little SJW route with that dialogue there? Because it's fucking important. That's not SJ. That's survival. When survival's on the line, every man, woman, fucking child. Okay, everybody, lottie dottie, everybody. Okay, I like that. That was not SJW bullshit. That was
no, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
At all.
But I saw some people complaining about it. And I was like,
this is the show. Check this shit out. This is a show where these people sit down and they say lines, but they maintain their mindset in where they are. Yep. Look at the interview with George R.R. Martin when people were trying to go after Game of Thrones for like, oh, why aren't any black people in this? Or why aren't that SJW hit the carpet of Game of Thrones? Why don't you think major figures don't really go after Game of Thrones? One, that series has nothing to do with what the fuck retarded, crazy people are talking about these days. This is a show where even George R. Martin, when they asked him, why is it that white writers always have nothing but white casts? And he's like, well, I don't know, probably because it's a white writer. I don't know. Right. Like he's not even there in his mind. He's not thinking about that. He's like, it's in the medieval times. Black people were saved. Shut the fuck up. Who cares?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? What do you want me to do?
What also was really cool about it is it's a show that does kind of rest on the laurels of class warfare in a lot. I mean, there's always that underlying rich, poor, but it's never ham-fisted. But it's never ham-fisted. It's never shoved down your throat. It seems like it's always balanced. They always know exactly how to not make this about what it's about. You know what I mean? It's not ever shoved down your throat like this is bad and this is good, working class good, rich people bad. There's none of that, but there's the underlying sense of the rich people don't really have a sense of what's going on with the poor people, and the poor people just want to fucking live, you know.
You're right. The layers on the show are so fucking deep. You can have classes in the top universities on how to do this.
Yeah, it's
the way they tell the story with the visuals as well. I mean,
is Game of Thrones the best show ever made? I mean, let's just ask the question.
I think so. I will say it flat out. Yes, I would say yes. I don't give a fuck if you say some bullshit. If Casablanca was a series and you brought that up, I'd tell you to go fuck off. You know what I mean? You're just trying to be like one of these idiots.
I'm with you. I think
because people like perfect. Even in class where I've taken some of those movie critiques, people will go and they'll say, "Oh, this one old ass fucking movie, who knows what?" But it's on everybody's top 10 list. So like Roger Ebert and all these people. I'm like, I watched it. And I'm like, well, one, I wasn't born in that generation. I get it, but fuck that movie. It's retarded. You know, it's stupid.
Yeah.
It might be groundbreaking for its time, but we're not there anymore, you know?
I think the key of anything great in any form of media is its ability to transcend generations. That's what I think is important. Standing the test of time, I think, is a very important thing about any true form of art. That's just how I believe. This is going to stand forever.
This one, I mean, there's no way this cannot. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Game
I
of Thrones ain't
understand
getting
that we're all hyped
rebooted
now, but
Game of Thrones ain't getting rebooted. It's not getting remade.
No, they can't.
It's not getting rebooted.
They can't. Who the fuck? Name somebody that can do this show, even touch it. Nobody can do that, dude. In the future, the only way to do it is to somehow 3D, and for you to VR inside the show.
Yeah.
Only way to do it.
Yep, and that's about it. It's pretty cool.
How's that? What was your favorite part?
My favorite scene easily is the Arya scene at the campfire. That's my favorite scene. That might be my favorite scene in the entire series. I thought it was such an important thing because of who Arya is. Arya's gone through, arguably, nobody's gone through as much as Arya has. I think you can make the argument, maybe John, but Arya's gone through a lot of shit.
No, Danny's definitely.
Danny's gone through a lot, but I don't know if she's gone through. I mean, Jesus Christ, Arya's lost her sight. She's had to assassinate people. She's had to. Dude,
fucking this girl, Daenerys started off pretty much a slave to her brother.
She was
sold off. She was raped. Then she had to turn everything around. Then her son was lost. Her husband was lost.
True.
She lost her Khalasar.
Yeah.
She went and had to get fucking played by some, fake ass black dude on whatever the fuck card. She had to, how every step of the way was a struggle with Daenerys. There wasn't many times where even when she took over and she was a good queen, accepted, everybody surrendered, she was still getting played with this harpy shit. People, I mean, come on,
right?
Man, she was crazy.
But I think when you look at Arya, I mean, everything that she lost, everything she had to witness, she was witness to every loss, every major loss that she's had in her life. She was basically witness to.
Oh, you know what? You're right. Yeah, Robb Stark, her father. Yeah, you're right.
All of it, and then the people that she's had, the people she was held captive by, the people she's been trained by, she's had to see them all die, or at least the insinuation that they are dead.
She had to kill him.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ, she's been through so much, and then everything she did with the Faceless Men. I don't know. I love her character, and I like that they took some time to say she's not a monster. I mean, that was such a cool. Even
we don't know.
Edge, I don't know. Look, when you look at the scene, she starts off in there and she's analyzing everything. You see her looking at the swords. She's seeing that they're not really prepared. She was about to slaughter everybody in that fucking camp. And then she listened to the stories. Then she got hit on by the little chubby guy. Ed Sheeran was being fucking Ed Sheeran. So it was, and she just kind of fell into it. And she became Arya Stark again. She even told them their plan.
You know what?
I loved it.
You know what? You're falling into the trap, Dave.
You think?
You're falling into that Game of Thrones. You're secure in thinking this character is still that character.
I think when they open up that scene? I think there's a balance. I think that she's.
How about when they open up that scene?
Yeah.
Would you be disappointed, and would you say that it took away from what you're thinking now if they open up that scene with Arya wiping her blade and everybody's dead on the ground and she just hops on a horse and rides off to King's Landing? Would you be disappointed, or would you say that makes sense?
I wouldn't be disappointed. I would.
Does it make sense?
It would make sense either way that they go with it. I think that it's a good thing that she's not bloodthirsty because she's still working towards something. Look, she could have gave in and just become a faceless man, but the fact is she kept her list intact. She still is very goal oriented. She knows what she wants to do. Yeah. So, it's pretty fucking crazy.
That was a great scene though, dude. Like even the guy looking in the distance and he's like, I hope it's a girl. And I'm like, dude, she's like being very empathetic right now, like she's looking around like, I don't know if I can kill these dudes. So you're right.
I love the way that she asked why. Because that was like the Arya that we've known a little bad. Why a girl? And the way he answered it, you could see it kind of just broader this level. I just loved it, man. I really did. I thought it was a great scene. I did, but there was a lot of scenes like that. Because Sam's sequence was so good. Everything was good, man. The Hound sequence was amazing. Everything was. It was a perfect episode.
That is. Didn't I put that in the chat? How you tell? No, I think I put it in another chat where I said, I just got a lesson on storytelling in 1 hour of one episode.
Yep.
That's how you tell How many stories do we see? 5 or something like
Maybe
that?
even more
5
than
different
that.
stories. Each one was perfect. When they didn't need to say a word, they moved the camera in certain ways to speak to you emotionally. Like that's in school too.
Yeah.
If you learn how to move the camera, color grading. If you notice, all 5 of those scenes have different color palettes.
Yeah.
You know
Different
what I mean?
tones, different sounds. Nothing was the same. Everything was purposeful. And even when you start thinking like, man, we're not going to get any Danny, man, we're running out of time. Are we going to see Danny? And then they give us about 7 to 10 minutes at the end
And
with
that's all
no
we needed.
words. And it's just the most powerful thing that maybe they've
That's
ever
all
done.
we needed. That's all we
It was
needed.
perfect.
And did you notice that almost every single house is now their main color, and whatever their background to their banner is essentially black now.
Yeah.
Everyone is black, and like the Lannisters is gold, but they're dressed in all black, but they
Right.
still have hints of gold. Danny, everybody's black.
Yep.
Fucking who else do we see there?
John is in
Cersei.
black. John's completely in black and looking like a boss.
Yeah, everybody in the north is dressed in black. Like fucking forget it, dude. Everybody, this whole it's going down. And you see the Queen's Guard,
Yep. Yep.
fucking juggernaut Lannister soldiers,
Yep.
chrome and black.
You know what nobody's talking about, and we haven't even touched it. We talked about so much. This will be the last thing that I'm going to bring in Chrissy, and I'm going to go to some wrestling for a minute. But
sure.
the thing that nobody's talking about is maybe the most important thing that's happened in the entire series happened in this episode and happened early. Spoilers, 3, 2, 1. Now it's your fault. Bran crossed the wall.
Yes, I was screaming, dude, because Kersey didn't know what was going on, really, right?
Yeah.
But as soon as I saw him open his eyes and I saw the gate come up, I started screaming, and I was like, "They're doing it in the first episode!"
The first 10, 20 minutes, man. I'm like, oh my God.
Oh my God.
And
they're doing everything we want them to do. That's how amazing these guys are.
And Bran seems different. He seemed more comfortable. I
Very
love that
confident.
I love that we got to see some of the old Castle Black characters that we've seen in seasons past that we don't get. I like that. I thought that was really well done. But him crossing that, I thought the wall was going to start crumbling then. I really did. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
it's gonna crumble.
I guess we know. Well, we didn't go to. No, we didn't follow him in. They closed the gate on us, right? Yeah, that's how it ended.
Yeah, but he's in there. I mean, like,
Yeah, he's in. So now what you're saying, I think what Planet Earth is thinking that is the logical conclusion we can come to.
Yeah.
Because there's only 2 options, right? Either the Night King was preparing to head south, which is the only reason why he hadn't breached the wall yet.
Yep.
And he's capable of doing so, but now he has an army of hundreds and thousands.
Yeah.
Like this isn't like 100,000 max. This is hundreds and thousands, because the Wildling army was 100,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now he has everybody for how many centuries that he's been collecting, plus giants. and
Sorry, Chrissy. I
So
said
that's one
spoilers.
So one option was what I just said, or the second option is what everybody thinks it's and including me, is when Bran crosses over, then that probably creates some kind of gate, or that thing might crumble, or something could happen to where his mark allows that gateway or that portal to kind of open for the Night King. He can now walk through.
Just like it was with the 3-eyed raven in their lair. Once Bran was touched by the Night King, they were able to get in. And that's the exact same thing now, because Bran carrying that mark cancels out the magic. And that.
Oh, do you think so? Because like a piece of him is allowing him to go in. Huh?
Exactly. That's what I got from it, from last season when they were in the hovel and they couldn't get in until the Night King touched his ass. And once that happened, it's
Oh,
done.
I wonder if it's
Bran
the magic
fucks
still-
everything up.
Yeah, Bran, I don't like him. I don't like him at all.
I don't. And I think we're going to see more throughout this season of this is all Bran's fault. I think everything is Bran's fault. Everything. I think the Mad King is Bran's fault. I think everything.
Probably.
That's what I think.
That's a very logical conclusion, that when he traveled back in time, he said some dumb shit to the Mad King and he went crazy. And that's
Exactly.
what started everything.
I think the
Because the
Whispers
Targaryens
were
were a
Bran.
little
Yeah.
tapped. They were a little tapped in the head, but they weren't the Mad King.
No.
And then all of a sudden, this guy turned into a psychopath.
Well, in the books, and the books allude to it a hell of a lot more, that the Mad King is listening to somebody who was not there. He was talking to somebody who was not there. And the only person that we have seen capable of that is Bran. Bran did with Hodor, and he even did with his own father. So they've shown the ability to be able to travel back in time and affect people. So I think that is going to be the case. Bran fucked everything up because Bran's an asshole.
Well, imagine when he said, burn them all, we could have the, and I remember seeing this on some, you know, one of those shows that picks it apart, right?
Right.
Imagine if Bran was talking to the king in one of these conversations that you're talking about, and he was saying, you know, like, oh, for the Night King or whatever, burn them all, burn them all. That's how you kill them. You know, like, instead of saying the people, because that can go several different ways. We won't know until we see it. But the king could be giving him advice. He could be telling him to prevent all this other shit, burn everybody, because that's a good solution to just stop everything now.
Yeah, you don't gotta
you know,
worry about
so it. And then Jamie, what is he gonna think? Burn my people? Fuck you. He stabs in the back. That starts everything.
See you later. And it even goes, when you think about it in regards to Bran, it's even worse because Bran not listening to his mother in the very first scene of White Walker stuff. The very first scene is Bran climbing the fucking walls, getting scolded by his mother. He does it again at the end of the episode and basically sets everything off. Him getting pushed by Jaime Lannister is what set everything into motion. Everything's Bran's fault. He's a fuck up. It's all his fault. Everything.
No, you know what? It's Lysa. It's her fault.
Why is it Lysa's fault? Wait a second.
Because she poisoned Jon Arryn. Without poisoning Jon Arryn, we wouldn't be in this fucking mess.
That's true. No, that's
because nobody would have went to go see Ned. Ned would have never went south. He would have never gotten curious. Another bastard thing would have happened.
But even if they go south and go visit Ned, which they probably would have done anyway because Robert Baratheon and Ned are boys.
Shut up and take my money.
By the way, Casey's donated $1. Testing shit. Love you, Dave. Love you right back, Casey. Thank you very much for that. The goddess graces us with $1. Appreciate that. Even if they go down, if Bran doesn't see the biggest, rumor, the worst kept secret in the Seven Kingdoms, Jaime spoofing his fucking sister, nothing else takes place because Kat doesn't start making all the stupid mistakes she makes by trying to fucking travel down the fucking roads when she shouldn't have. There's no reason for anyone else to pursue anything. Ned probably ends up coming back home. But because of that one moment, everything gets set in motion. Even with Lysa killing Jon Arryn, I don't think that is necessarily the biggest cat. I think it's Bran. I'm blaming Bran for everything. Fuck him.
Yeah. You know what? I'm with you. Fuck that kid. I don't
kid.
like him. I hope somebody stabs him at the wall.
Somebody
because we don't need this kid. We don't need him.
Oh, we might. He's the three-eyed raven now. Fuck.
Nobody gives a shit anymore. I don't. I want him dead. You know why? Because we got dragons, we got dragon glass, what is he gonna do? He's gonna tell, oh, guys are coming. Thank you. We know, and then just stab him and then be done with it.
The only thing I could see him doing of any importance is telling Jon his actual parentage. But even if he does, that's not enough evidence. So Jon's gonna have to have more evidence, which I think he's going to get either from fucking Littlefinger, Cold Hands, or which you still don't believe is actually Cold Hands, but it is. Cold Hands or
me?
Yeah, didn't you argue with me about that?
No, that wasn't me. No, I knew that was Cold Hands.
Oh, okay.
It's those are the book people. The book people get back.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. I apologize. Or Sam. Sam's gonna I gotta feel because they kind of alluded to the different eras. Like when he was talking to the Grand Maester, the Maester talked about the Targaryens, and I don't know, something that he said in there, it just kind of set me off a little bit. Like they know something else. Like something's I don't know how, but I don't know. It's pretty crazy.
I don't. Oh God, this whole thing. And what else is it that telling Jon fucking Snow who his parents are gonna do other than I'm the rightful heir to the throne? What a sad person Jon Snow is that he just doesn't give a fuck anyway.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I feel like he's ready to get off the throne as soon as possible.
I felt like he's finally becoming a ruler. Like I actually kind of feel the opposite. I feel like he's becoming exactly who he's supposed to be, and he's embracing it for the first time. That's what it felt like to me.
To me, I feel like he's I don't know, the acting, the way it is. I feel it's like, yes, I am the king. Just do what I say. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Okay, right. I died. I came back. But once this is over, I don't give a shit about what you guys do with anything. Okay, I might even have a kid and turn it over to him because this is it's annoying. I don't like you. I don't like anybody. Fuck off.
I'm gonna Lion
me,
King the
that's his
fuck out of
acting.
this kid to the Night King. Here you go.
I just have that feeling when he's acting, you know, and he's already said that kind of. I have no interest in ruling. I have no interest in any
He
of
said
that stuff.
last year. I think things are different now, man. I don't know the way he ruled this. He's not being hesitant like he was last year when he was in charge of Castle Black. He was so hesitant.
You don't get the impression that he's just like he looks around him. The impression that I get is he looks around him in a nutshell, and he sees so many people trying to play angles and do this and do that, and the only thing that he knows that he's seen with his own two fucking eyes is we are not going to survive unless we beat those people. So if everybody's gonna bicker and argue about stupid castles and families, then fine. I'm your king. Do this, okay? That's how I see it.
Well, I see it that way as well, but I see it that it's not just a part-time thing anymore. I feel like this is who he's accepted his destiny. Like that was what he was. That's what it felt like to me. So I loved it. One final question for you: what are you most excited to see the rest of the season? What's the one moment that you want to see more than anything else?
Once they cross, because you know Danny and all, they have to cross. That's going to be the part where I'm just going to be telling everybody shut the fuck up in the house.
I want to see Danny and John together. Yeah, that's really it. I agree.
No, I want to see the what happened, how it's done with the White Walkers. I want to see the Night King cross.
Okay.
And he's marching already. We're already seeing him march. He's going.
He's marching, but I don't think they're gonna make it until next season. I don't think we're gonna see a major battle. I think, like we've seen in the trailer, John goes north. So I think we're gonna see something that happens in the north. But I don't know why he's going north. Because Bran's back south now. So what reason does he have to go north? I don't know. We'll see.
There's got to be something that Bran or someone tells him that takes him to do something up north that has something to do with, because there's no way John's doing anything if it's not related to killing White Walkers. You know what I mean? Like defeating that army. He doesn't give a shit about anything else. Like there's no meeting that he's going to take. There's no anything he needs. He just needs bodies and a way to kill these things. So like what you're saying is like, well, what's he doing up north? That is the only plausible explanation as to why he would go up there with a small band, because that's what we saw right in the trailer. If you freeze frame, it seemed like it was
a very small band. Very small.
It looks like one of those like a half hand when he's like, this isn't a job for 400 men, this is just a small crew. So he's probably going to try to go find something.
Well, I assumed it was going to be Bran. I assumed he was going to go get Bran. That's what I assumed why he would be going up north. But now that Bran's down, I'm trying to figure out what he's going to go up north for. There's rumors, but I don't know what to believe at this point. But it's going to be interesting.
Well, remember, we did see he might not be north. He might be at the wall, going around those crevices.
Maybe it looked like he was. I mean, they went full wildling gear, So I don't know. It felt like they were north. Maybe they weren't, but it felt like they were.
Wow.
I don't know.
We'll see. Hey, we will fucking see, baby.
I can guarantee you this. Every Monday for the next 7 weeks, I'm going to be right here to talk about each and every fucking episode. I hope that you call in every week.
I'll be here too.
All right,
I will be here too.
Thanks, Vega. I appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah. Later, man.
Make sure you guys check out The Lord Vega right here on YouTube, on Twitter, everywhere. The Lord Vega. Go look him up. He's fucking amazing. He's amazing. He is the man, and he is the king of Game of Thrones. Chrissy, call in now. Oh, wait, shit. I spelled your name wrong. Maybe I did. I don't know. Maybe I didn't. Big shout out to everybody who's here. Blue Firefly is here. So is Carl Gibney. Alan Thomas, what's going on, buddy? Shan Ree is here. So is Rigo Villa. Ben Young. Chrissy Piplup, what's going on? Chrissy Piplup. Call in whenever you want. Huffman's hang out. You have to have Huffman's hanging here. Luna Blarp with her fine asses somewhere around. Will Woot is he called in earlier. That was pretty great. Appreciate everybody who's here hanging out. Make sure you guys drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you'd like to do so. If you want to support the channel anyway, you could do so in a number of ways. Easiest way for me is, as far as my sponsor goes, is go over to www.wrestlecrate.co.uk and show some love. Show some love to them and use promo code DeadOnDave to get yourself a free DVD or free autograph with your first box. Something's going on here. I don't know why that's not working. Let me call her and see if it works.
Okay. I just called you again.
Chrissy
hear me?
Piplup. I do hear you. What's going on there, beautiful?
Do you see me? Because I don't see you.
Well, you won't be able to see me because I'm on XSplit, but I see your camera wanting to turn on, but it's not quite turning over.
That's fucking weird because it's on because I can see myself in OBS.
That's all right though. Oh, you know what? It's because you have OBS on.
I will close OBS then because I wanted to make sure it was actually on. Okay, there it is. Now I see it blinking.
Yeah, it's about to come on.
All right. Anyway.
So what do you got for me, Miss Piplup?
Rage that my roommate decided to go to a show last night instead of watching Game of Thrones with me. She apparently forgot about it, so I can't be that mad, but I didn't know, so I was like waiting for her to come home. It was like 10:30. I'm like, are you gonna be home soon? She's like, no. I'm like, I guess we'll watch this tomorrow.
Oh no, you should have watched it.
I would, but I'm one of those people that I get way too overexcited and then end up spoiling things for people. It'll be like the time that didn't watch that I read the 5th Harry Potter book in like, I don't know, half a day, and then was so excited that I told her about like the whole story, and she was only like halfway through, so I told her that Sirius died, and she was so mad that I told her. It's still like a contention in our friendship. So
how did you do this to me?
Why would you do this to me? You're the worst ever. Pretty much.
So you are completely in the dark. Sorry if you got spoiled at all through any of the conversation. I apologize. Oh, there you are. Oh,
okay. Yeah, it said it was currently being used by another application. So now it should be working.
Oh, I see you. I see you in all your glory.
Yes. I had my cat earlier. I had him in view of the screen, and now he's hiding like a little fuckface. I don't know if you can see him behind me.
Oh, yeah, there he is. Look at that little cat. Nobody else can see him, but I can see him. Hi, cat.
The white little floofy cat. But, yeah. Okay. Apparently Carl's triggered by Sirius dying. That happened like over 10 years ago, so if you haven't read the book yet, you should probably just like give up on life.
Right, you're screwed. Come on, man. Come on.
I mean, to be fair, I own the 6th and parts 1 and 2 of 7 of Harry Potter, and I've never watched them. Never. Didn't watch them in theaters. Didn't watch them when they came out. I know what happens, and I'm probably going to be disappointed because I was pretty much disappointed with all the movies except for the 3rd one. Of course, it's my favorite book, too, so.
Fair enough. Danny Girl in the chat says, I'm the same way. I ruined Dumbledore's death for my best friend.
Yeah. That's why I was like, and because I've only ever watched the last season, because I was planning on watching the whole thing before the new season came out, and I didn't have time. So half the time we have to pause things and I have to ask her questions because I have no idea what the fuck is going on.
Just start binging. Like right now, as soon as you're done here, start watching season 1, episode 1.
I mean, I would, except like I have assignments that are due tomorrow that I should be doing.
Oh, shit.
Instead of this. But, I mean, I'll get it done before then. But
all you got to do, and this is how you'll get an A on any assignment that you have. All right, whatever the topic is, all you do is you take a big crayon and you write, I love Dead on Dave. That's all you got to do. You'll be fine.
That is not how life works, especially since they're like, it's like an online class. So like he gave us the test. So literally I can write out the whole test, but then I have to like speak it into a microphone because it's for midterm and you have to be able to pronounce everything correctly. So I don't think that's going to be like a thing.
You could sing a song about your love for me though. I think you could do that and that would probably work as well.
I mean, I could try if you really want me to on like some day that I'm not busy. I can try to make a song about how much I love Dave.
Oh, that would be amazing. Because the one thing I need is an ego boost.
I mean, I can't guarantee that like the lyrics will be good, but I have a decent singing voice. Not with this mic, not with this shitty, not my shitty laptop mic, but with my decent one.
Well, you hear me always trying to sing. I can't sing for shit, so don't worry about it. You're good.
I mean, I was in like chorus and like chorale in like middle school and high school, so I should theoretically be decent.
I was in a band. I was the front man of a band. We did one show. Mm-hmm. One show. Dead at 9.
You were that good or that bad that like after the first one you didn't have to do any more because they just saw your excellence?
No, I joined the army. So the band, I was joining the army, so we didn't have time to really pursue it. But it was a good. We actually had the entire Quiet Riot, the entire band Quiet Riot. They came and saw our show. Because we did Mental Health, and it was the high school battle of the bands. So our plan was, let's go talk to who he's fucking at the time. Kevin DeBrow was in a relationship with with Lark Williams, who was a DJ for Comp 92.3, the rock station in Las Vegas, Nevada. And we went to her, and she was like, "I think I can get him to show up," and she got the entire band to show up. And it was awesome.
That's so cool.
It was pretty cool.
You should talk to Liam about that because he used to be in a band before he did the YouTube Twitch thing.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did. Like, I'm like 80 to 90% sure that he used to be in a band.
Do you know what he did? Did he sing? What did he do?
I think he sang.
Oh, how great would that be?
I could be completely wrong. This could be like something that I thought happened that didn't actually happen. So like ask him about it. Actually, you should ask him about it like on something that he's going to be like, what the fuck? And then you can just blame me if it's wrong.
Chrissy was sure of it. She said that you were like a Grammy winner and shit. It was very weird.
Yes. Best new artist in like, I don't know, 2008 or some shit.
Best new blue-haired artist in folk music in 2003. That'd be amazing.
Oh my God.
Miss Pipple, do you have anything else for us? I'm going to switch to wrestling before people lynch me.
No, that's good. Go to wrestling because I'm gonna leave. Me and my roommate are getting ice cream, and then we're gonna go watch Game of Thrones. I think she's trying to appease me because I'm kind of mad.
Good stuff. Well, enjoy your ice cream and enjoy Game of Thrones. Hit me up after and tell me what you thought of it.
I will. I'll be like, I don't understand anything, Dave.
Oh, that's why you haven't seen everything yet. Oh,
I watched the last season, but like I don't understand all the
intricacies. Yeah.
Yes, intricacies. Bleh.
It's okay.
I've been drinking wine, Dave. Leave me alone.
Nice.
I have this cute little glass.
It's a bear
thing.
Glass. That's cute.
Yes, it has a bear. It's from my ex-boyfriend's mom. It's the only thing that was good about the relationship. So, yay.
Okay. At least you got a bear glass out of the deal.
Bear glasses are cute. I love polar bears.
Indeed they are. All right, Chrissy, I will talk to you later. Enjoy your ice cream and enjoy Game of Thrones, and I will see you tomorrow.
All right. Bye, Dave. Bye, everyone.
Bye, Chrissy. Chrissy Piplup, she's a fantastic up-and-coming streamer on Twitch. She's also one of the best moderators and just participants in chat. She supports so many YouTubers. She's absolutely fantastic. I love Chrissy Piplup. One of the people that I'm really excited that came over from Liam's crew that have just really embraced everything that we're doing here. Fantastic person. Love her to death. And she's fucking cute. Oh! All right, so for those of you guys who've been waiting to talk about a little bit of wrestling, let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and put the Kurt Angle in front. Copper. Yeah. Because let's talk wrestling. I want to talk a little wrestling, which I don't do as much as I used to. But the reality is there's something happening right now in WWE that is melting my face off. Absolutely melting my face off. I'm really enjoying this kind of little bit long in the tooth tease that they've been doing with Kurt Angle for the past, it feels like 6 weeks now, where they first introduced the nuance of there's something in Kurt's past that's going to potentially ruin him. And they've slow burned it. And now tonight on Raw, we're going to see what it is. Now, what it actually is going to be is probably going to be very disappointing. Probably going to be very, very disappointing. However, the speculation has got me fucking amped because there are so many rumors, there are so many theories, there are so many thought processes of what is actually going to happen tonight that I am just so excited. because some of it is absolutely insane. I mean, there are rumors going as strong as stating that Corey Graves, who's been one of the catalysts in this entire storyline, might be the love child of Kurt Angle and either Stephanie McMahon or Dixie Carter. Look, Dixie Carter being in that 24 series means something. I'm not expecting it to be. I expect Stephanie to show up tonight, but I don't expect her to be a love interest or a triangle or anything like that with Kurt Angle. I don't see that happening because it doesn't make sense. We know they pulled back the veil. Her and Triple H are solid. They're together. Why would they want to fuck with that? Doesn't make any sense. But having her come out to confront Kurt and his actual love interest or whatever, and I do think it will be Dixie Carter, which I'm not the biggest fan of because Dixie kind of ruins everything. But as long as she's not in charge of stuff, everything should be fine. So him and Dixie Carter, the question is, what is it going to be? Now, a lot of people assume love child or affair or anything like that. However, I think we're going to have an invasion angle of some kind. And I think it's ultimately going to lead to the formulation of Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, and Bobby Roode. 3 guys who are currently on 3 different brands in WWE are going to be pulled together by the GM of Monday Night Raw. And I think Luna in the chat really did kind of hit it on the head here. It's Dixie. Kurt was a spy for Dixie and TNA. I think it might be actually the opposite. I think they're going to kind of play the angle that Kurt was sent to TNA by WWE and then eventually falling in love with it. And that's going to be it. And then it's going to kind of go from there. It's going to be interesting to see how they actually play that, because there's potential, but there's potential for it to fucking suck. There is potential for it to be so stupid. And you got to keep Corey Graves involved. I think that's important. You've got to get Kurt into a match as soon as humanly possible. That's the one thing that I think that they cannot wait on. They've got to get him into a match at SummerSlam. Cannot go any farther than that. And obviously that's what they're building towards. And I'm glad that they didn't do it 6 weeks ago. I'm glad that they waited while we're this close to SummerSlam. And I think it's going to work out quite well. But the question is, what are they going to do? You're seeing all these rumors of what it's going to be. And I just hope that it's not something as stupid as Stephanie versus Kurt, or Stephanie and Kurt together, because we've kind of seen that in the past. Kurt trying to woo Stephanie, and then Triple H and Kurt fighting over the exact same reason. We don't need that storyline again. We've had it, been there, done that, got the t-shirt. We don't need it again, especially when they're both in their 40s. Doesn't really make sense. However, using Stephanie as the person who comes out and confronts Kurt, and I'm assuming Dixie, could be pretty damn cool. Now, the interesting portion of this is Corey Graves, because why would Corey want to help Kurt like he's been saying he is? Is Corey going to turn into a more nefarious character? Is he going to become like this Bobby Heenan type character where he's kind of the mastermind, he's pulling the strings and all of that? I think that would be kind of cool. Vinny won't be able to do anything but bury Dixie. She was a rival. Yeah, she was, but then why bring her in? It's like they don't have to bring in Dixie Carter of all people. They didn't have to include her in the 24. I don't know if they're just look after what happened with Sting, which some people are still salty about. I really don't care, but after what happened with Sting, why would Dixie come back just to get shat on? Hey, look, I understand she's not having to fund that shit. I don't know. Luna Blarb, I don't know. I don't know, Dave. I know of him through YouTube and Twitter. Well, what do you mean you don't know? We know each other a little bit. What are you saying, Luna? You're not my friend? Is that what you're saying? Fine. She just knows of me. I'm hurt. I'm fucking hurt. Damn. I'm still counting on you one day to just break me, baby. And yet, you don't know me. You don't know me, not own me. Anyway, so that's what I think is going to happen, but I'm not exactly sure. I think that there's a lot of potential for it, but I think there's a lot of potential for fucking failure, flat out failure. But I want to hear from you guys. So if you have anything you want to add in on this wrestling topic or anything else, really, I'm going to open up the phone lines to you guys completely. If you have anything you want to talk about in wrestling or anything else, now's the time. Call in on Skype, David Vancura, DavidVancura, or much easier, just come on into my Discord. Go into waiting to call. Here is the link. Jade Rabbit says, still time to call in. Absolutely, there is, JD baby. Call on in and talk about whatever you want. The phone lines are open for whatever you want. It could be wrestling, it could be Game of Thrones, it could be flippity flop and the flippity doos, whatevers. And it's going to be great. Whatever you guys want to talk about. And then I'm going to get out of here if there's no more calls, questions, comments, concerns, hopes, dreams, quips, quotes, likes, loves, anecdotes, stories, little small lessons learned, whatever you got. I want to hear about it. I needs to know. Gaming addict Dave got roasted by Jacob. Not really. Not really. Like, yeah, he roasted me. You and him are still viewers, and I'm the guy you're watching. I roast you with every word that I say, baby. Every word. Luna Blark, Dave, Terry has a spotlight in my face and is playing bad cop. I don't know. So, all right. Well, are we going to get any calls or not? Because if there's no more calls, we've done an hour. I'm ready to go. On the rooftop, shout it out. Baby, I'm ready to go. Come on, JD. Come on, JD. Let's go party. Yeah. This gives me a second to go ahead and let you guys know that we got a whole hell of a lot of great stuff happening over on the merch store, www.deadondave.spreadshirt.com. We got Mush Puff t-shirt. We got copious Mush Puff Club shirts, Mush Puff Club shirts. We got 2 different Mush Puff shirts. We got Tommy Chew shirt that's up there right now. Tommy in the Pikachu costume. That's up there. Think about your life choices. So many. Go check them out. Go check them out. Kyle Lorch, Dave, you should go live for Raw. No, I don't do that no more. I'm not staying up all night. I'm living healthily for the first time in 10 years. Healthy. I'm living a healthy lifestyle for the first time in 10 years. I am not staying up all night and ruining that just for a probably disappointing fucking segment. Because let's be honest. One segment is probably going to be worth watching. The rest of Raw is going to suck dick more than likely, or it's going to fall flat. I have no interest in staying up all night to do Raw. None. 0. I got too much going on in my day now. I'm actually living. I'm not sleeping the entire day. I'm actually being a husband. I'm being a father. I'm being a productive member. I'm not staying up all night. Screw that shit. I don't want to do it no more. Luna Blarb, Terry, been watching Dave since he was double teaming with Tommy. Jade, you can call in and talk about Game of Thrones. You can talk about whatever you want. You just need to do it now. There she is. All right, JD, I waited for you. Now you're here. What do you got for me, gorgeous?
Thank you so much for waiting for me.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it so much. I'm just like, no, please.
You be welcome, yo.
Did we talk about Game of Thrones yet? I'm not going to talk spoilers, but like, did anyone call in about Game of Thrones yet?
We spoke about Game of Thrones for the first 45 minutes of this show.
Oh,
but
no,
it's okay because I opened up to anything. So whatever you want to talk about. You want to talk about Game of Thrones? I'm okay with that.
So like, did we talk spoilers already?
We did some spoilers. Yeah, we did. But it doesn't matter. Whatever you want to talk about.
About who appeared on Game of Thrones the first episode. Do we talk about that? Because that, like, okay, so like, again, without naming any names, the like guest star of like that, like the first episode, right? I have some serious qualms about it because like, although, you know, the person is very cute and Game of Thrones moment completely. It took me out of like the moment. It took me out of the lore. It took me out of like, you know, the oh my god, what's the word for it? Like the moment of it entirely, right? It broke the immersion for me, and I was kind of mad.
What? The fact that your streaming sucked?
What? No. The person on the show.
Who? Oh, Ed Sheeran?
Okay, because I didn't want to name names.
We talked about Ed Sheeran. It's fine. We can talk about whatever you want. It's fine. Why did that? Wait a second. But he's just an actor, and he wasn't even the biggest actor who was in that scene. There was another big British actor who showed up. What's the problem?
No, but it was like, it kind of like, it just broke the immersion for me. It wasn't the fact that he, like, oh, like the actor, it's just like he's very well known like everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, instead of like a character of like, you know, what could have been a really awesome scene in the woods between like Arya and, you know, these guys that are like, you know, trying to protect everything. It was instead like, oh yeah, it's Ed Sheeran and I don't know, like the gang. Like
It didn't bother me at all. I got to be honest. I think that was my favorite scene ever in Game of Thrones.
Really?
Yes, I loved that scene. I loved it. Ed Sheeran made no difference to me because he didn't sing.
Okay.
Had he sang, I would have been like, okay.
Yes, he did.
Well, yeah, but no. He sang with all of they were doing what soldiers do. He didn't. He wasn't.
And then, oh, it's a new one.
He wasn't.
Okay,
he wasn't on a stage doing like a typical singer cameo.
all right.
He was still a soldier and doing what soldiers do, which trust me is singing. It's not a big deal. So that didn't bother me at all. And it's not like he went on a solo or anything. He just sang. There was no problem with that. So no, it didn't bother me at all. Just the fact him being there didn't take me out of it one bit. I loved that scene because it was, for me, I was enthralled with Arya. I couldn't stop thinking about Arya.
Oh my god, she's still like honestly, like what we talked about with the woman Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Yesterday, honestly, like the women in Game of Thrones right now are fucking killing it. They are killing it this season. Like it's just like who runs the world, girls.
This is nothing new. This happens all the time. The girl power movement comes in every fucking it really happens every fucking year, but every time that it happens, we are always supposed to be surprised that once again women run the world. What the fuck? What are we? Oh, god damn it, man! So tired of this goddamn argument. It happens all the time. It happened in the 90s with fucking the Spice Girls and all that stuff. Guess what? It happened in the 70s with ABBA. It happens all the time. It happens all the time.
Oh no, but it just like honestly like it's amazing. But also, so like I guess what I complained on Twitter whenever like I was first trying to get HBO, first off, their website crashed for streaming, right?
Yeah.
So like so that was number one. And then number two, like I just looked up like hey, is like HBO streaming like down? Because there's also Now and there's Go. And I got spoilers right the fuck away. Like it was just like, what the actual hell is going on? Why is this happening right now? We're not even 10 minutes into like the hour. Like great.
I had no problem with any of it. Like Brace is saying that the episode was just kind of preparing for stuff, but in the best well, that's not even 100% true because the first scene is a payoff. A payoff we've been waiting for since fucking season 2. You know, I mean, like, good Lord. So I don't know if that's 100% true. And in the end, it started with a payoff and it ended with a payoff because Danny going home might be the biggest thing that's happened in the show ever. That might be the biggest event. It literally from the beginning. It's huge. So that was a great thing. There was a lot of setup, but it was all purposeful, and there was nothing wasted. It was wonderful. I loved it.
Like, Danny might have only had like 3 words in that whole episode, probably, I think.
And it wasn't even until the last 3 words that she said, "Let's get started." That was the only word she had.
No, it's "shall we begin?" What?
Well, same thing. God damn it, Jade. Same fucking thing. Jesus. Good Lord.
Out-nerding you once again.
Out-nerding me, whatever. I wasn't trying to go goddamn fucking super quote there. I was just trying to get to the fucking, Good Lord, woman.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I'm actually not sorry.
I know you're not because you always want to compete with me. My God, my dick is bigger than your dick. Watch this. Let me put my fucking nuts on the table and we'll see what's bigger there. They're hairier too, motherfucker. What are you going to do about it?
Oh my God. No. Oh, holy shit. But yeah, so like that.
See you later, Santa Claus.
Really
Thanks for hanging out, buddy.
I'll see you. Bye. Feel better, bud. I saw that too in chat. But let me not drag on the show longer. That was like the 2 things I wanted to complain about. And I didn't know if anyone felt the same way because I don't know, like, maybe there are, like, a lot of star actors in Game of Thrones before that, like, other people have recognized that it's taken them out of the moment. But for me, I just saw Ed Sheeran in Game of Thrones. I didn't see a soldier in a Game of Thrones episode. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
it didn't bother me. No, I didn't have an issue with it. I think
Well, that's good.
Had it been anybody else, I would have felt the exact same way. Didn't bother me one bit.
Okay. Yeah. Because, like, for me personally, it just broke immersion. It just, like, I had to pause and be like, okay.
You know, I don't even like Ed Sheeran. I can't stand Ed Sheeran.
Well, like,
can't stand him.
okay.
And it still didn't bother me. I hate his face. I hate his voice. I hate everything about him. He's a douche. The club in the place they try to find a love in the bar is where I go. Shut the fuck up, you goddamn bitch. I hate that guy.
Like it's all the time.
Oh, I do. I know. And that's why, part of the reason why I hate him. Oh, God. I want to fucking throw up. I hate him. Luna said that look when she saw that I read her last tweet. Because I know you're full of shit, Luna. Because I know you're full of shit. That's why. Yeah, she was able to read my face when I read her tweet. That's funny. That or her last message. That's funny. She's good. Got to give her credit. But
Brace, I agree with you too. I don't know what Littlefinger's new motivation is going to be because, like, remember like last the ending episode of season 6. You know, he was very much about like, oh, like I want to be on the Iron Throne with Sansa, you as my wife, right? So I don't know if he's gonna try to like. I don't think he can manipulate Sansa because Sansa's like another, again, amazing woman. Like, I don't give a fuck about any of your bullshit. I don't care if you're my brother. I don't care if you're trying to pursue me. I don't give a shit anymore. I've been used by all these men, and I'm done. My voice will be listened to.
I love what they did with Sansa in this episode because in the same episode where in the same episode where she got put in her place a little bit because she almost won. She almost had the room won, but then Jon dropped the hammer on her and had undefeatable logic. The only fucking person who's not thinking with his goddamn heart and thinking with actual survival in mind, and he made that abundantly clear. But they didn't use that as a weakening point for her. She got kind of dressed down a little bit by Jon afterwards, and then immediately they do that wonderful scene with Littlefinger where she just said, "Oh, I loved it. It was great. It was perfect balance."
It's big F you to him, just because that's like the only reason why he's sticking around is just to try to like see which little way he can like maneuver.
He wants to fuck. He wants to fuck. He wants to fuck. That's what he wants. He wants the vajay. He wants the vajish.
I don't think he just wants the vajay though.
He does. He sees that.
But I mean, like,
look, he has altered his plan on several occasions for Sansa. The only thing that anybody can really use as a counter argument to that is the fact that why would he let him go, or why would he let her go with the Boltons? Other than that, I mean, he didn't have to go save everybody. You could make the argument that he was better off letting everybody fucking die in Battle of the Bastards. You can make the argument he was better off.
But again, that wouldn't have won Sansa's heart, though.
Exactly. He wants the pussy, Jay. That's what I'm saying. Littlefinger. He wants that ass. That's what I'm saying.
Want your heart.
Telling you.
And then your pussy.
He wants to put his hands all over her body. Put my hands all over your body. That's what he wants.
Ben Runner, he even agrees with me too. I have to agree a little bit. Seeing Ed Sheeran was a slight immersion break, to be honest.
I don't get that.
I'm not the only one.
But why? Can I ask why? Because last year they brought in a huge actor to play a relatively bit role in one episode. What's his fucking name?
You don't know who the fuck he is?
Yeah, but I always forget his name. Look, he was in one of my no, he is a great actor. He played the priest who ended up getting hung. He was also in fucking American Gods. I always forget his actor. He's a huge name. God damn it, I gotta look it up.
I don't know. I can't place it now.
Big name.
Anyway, but like
No, I'm looking it up. You hang on. American Gods.
Oh, shut up, Jade. I like being put my place. No, don't do that.
Ooh, you do kind of like it. Oh. You wait until I speak to you. You wait.
Hey, Critical Mess is in the chat. Littlefinger is a
Ian McShane.
Well,
Ian McShane.
Okay.
Huge actor.
I don't know who that is still.
You don't know who Ian fucking McShane is? Oh my god. Can't believe it.
I know. Oh, how upsetting. I don't know your actors.
Miss 23-year-old. Oh, look at me. I'm young. I don't have to know who anybody is. I know who Ed Sheeran is, though. And it ruined my immersion.
Look,
didn't ruin anything for me.
He's everywhere, though. Okay.
He sucks.
Okay.
He sucks.
But he's still in love with his body.
I hate his face. That's one guy I would beat the shit out of if I had the opportunity to. I'd punch him right in his suckhole. I really would. His giant fucking cranium. I'm afraid to punch him in the head because I'll break my fist on his fucking 17-pound dome. Jesus. My God, he's got a head of concrete on him. Holy shit. Him and his 7 head. Doesn't have a faux head. Got a 7 head. Jesus. Oh, I hate Ed Sheeran. I can understand why it may have taken you out of it, but I mean, they've had actors come in for little bit parts that I don't feel that it does it. And in this case, the scene was so much for me about Arya, but I don't know. Braces, by the way, Dave Littlefinger doesn't care about puss. He literally ran a whorehouse. No. Oh, see, now this is where you show how you do not know Littlefinger. Remember, his driving fucking obsession was Catelyn Stark. And now, who's his fucking obsession? It's the person who kind of looks like... Come on, man. He's obsessed with Kat. He was obsessed with her ass, man, up until the fucking moment she died. In fact, you can make the argument that her death is what kind of set him onto the current motion of where he is now. I don't know. I can't agree. Just because he ran a whorehouse doesn't mean the motherfucker doesn't feel love. He ran a whorehouse because of the fact that he was shunned away from the woman that he loved. And now he has an opportunity to get the younger, hotter version of it. Jesus. Get up in that puss.
Yeah, because I didn't want to interrupt you, but Willie or Will Woo said like something similar. Like if Littlefinger marries Sansa, he gets power. He doesn't care that much about slamming Sansa because if he wants puss, he can fuck one of the thousands of whores he owns.
But they're not. So they're not Sansa. Yeah, this is about. Yeah. He would have been in such a greater position of power had he let the Boltons destroy the Starks, finish them off at the Battle of the Bastards because they were done. John was dead. It was fucking over. He could have let that happen, but he knows what it would have done to Sansa because he wouldn't have killed Sansa. He would have took her and fucking tortured her, and he was not going to let that happen because he's in love with her.
Yeah, like I think he's trying to make the best moves to see how like he could win her favor. But like the thing is that she's been fucked over way too many times, especially by him too, because he's been a little liar this entire time to her. So like I don't know. I don't ever see her being swayed by him unless he makes a big power move. Unless there's just something that is really upsetting to her. And
it would take something that John does. It would take not only something that he does, but John would have to fuck up as well. It would take a huge move. And I'm not saying that it's impossible. He would have to like
undermine her or something crazy. No, I'm not saying that. It's like it's a good speculation to make, and maybe we're predicting like something like that, like what I think I said during your college show for like predictions for Game of Thrones. But I assume that Littlefinger's going to stay. Like, oh god, he's gonna keep sniffing her the entire time.
I think I got a feeling John's gonna end up killing him. I got a feeling because John doesn't fuck around no more. I got a feeling he's gonna kill his ass by the end of this season.
Oh yeah, he's like, if you're in the way of my plan to try to protect everyone, fuck you, you're dying because you would have died anyway if it wasn't for me. So.
Yeah. Yeah, 100% agree. Littlefinger's going to overstay his welcome. I don't know why he has. Honestly, he should probably already took off.
He's still there.
You leave a small whatever they need as far as soldiers goes that shores up the alliance. And then you take your ass back to the Vale. You have got no reason to be there. Once again, the only reason is because he wants to fuck. He wants to smash. It's the only reason why he's sticking around. But to be fair, his smashing has a greater purpose because he. Well, whatever. Whatever. Have you seen? Look, Game of Thrones. It always comes down to fucking rape in some fucking way.
Oh my god.
But what's funny about it is there is a deeper meaning behind his fascination with Sansa because not only does she remind him of his one true love, Catelyn, but she's also the big linchpin to his play for power. If he can get her, that's a way to the Iron Throne, you know. And
It really is, because I think that maybe he's thinking that, you know what, like, Daenerys and Cersei, well, like, we already all know, right? We've talked about it before. Cersei's gonna die. Like, everyone hates her. Yeah. Like, it doesn't matter what's happening. It doesn't matter, like, you know, who's gonna kill her. Someone is. You know, she has way too many enemies and not enough allies. Like that, oh god, amazing scene that we saw, like, in, you know, like with her and Jamie was amazing.
Very telling scene. The body language, everything about it. The fact that she was standing on land on that map and Jamie was in the ocean.
Yeah.
That was
Well, even-
great. That was wonderful. I love that.
Even just like and like Cersei's reaction where it's like, I'm not processing shit right now, because if I do, I'm gonna lose my goddamn mind, because I've lost everybody except for you. And if I try to mourn, if I try to like again process and reflect on death of like my children and everyone around me that I've loved, I am going to break, and I cannot break right now because I am the motherfucking queen. Like,
Yeah, but she's the queen of, but she's the queen of nothing. That's the problem with her. What are they? And Jamie talked. What are they ruling? They're ruling nothing. They're ruling absolutely nothing. Ben Ruder in chat says there were slight tones of tension between Sansa and Jon Snow last night. Sansa has knowledge that Jon should really take on board. I couldn't disagree with you more. In fact, I love that they showed that Sansa does not know what the fuck she's talking about. If Jon listens to Sansa, they all fucking die. If he listens to her last night, everybody fucking dies, because she's thinking with her heart while he's the only one thinking about survival. And he is 100% right. They cannot be continuing. She wants to continue to play politics. He wants to fucking win. That's what we saw last night. She's still thinking short-sighted political terms. He's thinking about fucking surviving. And the only way you can do that is sometimes going as far as trusting children, because he got children to fucking swear fealty to him. I thought that was so telling and so important. You listen to Sansa, everything's fucking dead at that point. And she almost won the room. But I loved his rebut. It was perfect. It was perfect.
Yeah, it really, like, because I don't know, like, I'm not really good at politicking, whatever you want to say it, or however you want to say it.
I'm sorry, Critical Mess says, yeah, Dave is right. Women don't know anything. That's not exactly what I was saying, but now that you mention it.
And Dave does not smell like cabbage. Like, what a fucking
don't even acknowledge the fucking little baby trolls. They're here watching me because they can't be me. They want to suck me, but they know that they can't suck me, so they're just here talking shit. I don't care. Don't even acknowledge them. They're ghosted. They're ghosted. Fuck them. Brace in the chat says Cersei will live. I'm calling it. You might be right. I still think that the prophecy is going to befall her, that she will be killed by a younger sibling, which I still think is going to be Jamie. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. Like because the thing is,
What about Tyrion?
Tyrion's not going to kill her. I think Tyrion's got his own worries. No, I think it'll be Jamie. Jamie makes more sense. She killed their children. I mean, like, she's maybe not the first two directly, but man, she might as well push fucking Tommen out the window. Luna's fighting for my love. Do you see what Luna's doing in chat? She's fighting for my love. I love it. You're winning, Luna, because you know, the older the berry, the sweeter the juice. I need to know how sweet, Luna. I need to know how sweet. One day I'll find out. Anyways, Terry, goddamn, Jade, anything else you got for me on Game of Thrones? Something you want to hit?
Wow, getting your women confused.
I got too many women in my life, man. I'm sorry.
Oh, you poor BB. Just too many ladies want to hang out and help you out.
Yo, that's me. I'm pimpalicious. What can I say? I want to take these other callers. So you got anything else for me?
Oh, there's more callers. I thought I was. Oh, okay. Well, that's good. There's other callers then. Yeah.
Too quick. Well, I don't know why Willwood's coming back. I'm not taking Willwood again. I already took your call, dude. Come on. You don't get two calls in a show. What the fuck's the matter with you? But I
don't even get two calls in a show.
Yes, you do. You get whatever you want. I don't want to hear that shit. You got my old microphone. I want to hear about that. You get the only person who gets more than you is fucking Casey's. I want to hear that shit. That one person who has more fucking pull over me, the only person who has me wrapped around their finger more than you is Casey's. Come on. Who you trying to fool? Now the world knows, Jade. Your fucking ruse is done. Tell someone else.
I don't even have a channel. Great.
All right, JD. I love you. I'm going to take in Critical Mess.
All right.
Talk to you later.
He's always a good caller. Bye.
Bye. Great caller. My beauty, Jade. Let's bring in Critical Mess, final caller of the night. Oh, what you got? You're live with that on Dave. Critical Mess. What's up, partner?
I'm massively into Game of Thrones. Fucking love that show.
How can you not? It's perfect.
Yeah. But when it comes to like the whole Ed Sheeran thing, I don't really think it broke the immersion that much.
No, I don't think so.
Even though it's like the song that he was singing was the song that was written about Tyrion.
Yeah.
That was fucking awesome. And also Littlefinger's a massive cuck.
Oh God, yeah, he is. Yeah, he is.
I mean, the thing is with Littlefinger, like one of my favorite scenes with him was when he was with Lysa, and just like there was only one woman I've ever loved. Just like holds her head. It's like she has like an optimistic smile on her face. Catelyn just like throws her down the moon door. Yes, that was such an awesome scene.
Everything that Littlefinger has done, I mean, it was treacherous at times and as disgusting at times. It's always really, really fucking tragic, man. I mean, like he's. Oh yeah. I do like Littlefinger. I like the character. I don't like him because he's a piece of shit, but I do like the character. It's very, very complicated, very convoluted. I like it.
I mean, he has a lot of plots. He's he indirectly caused several deaths, wars, all that sort of stuff. He kicked off pretty much the entire show.
Yeah.
And he does have one weakness, which is his attraction to Catelyn, which he sees in Sansa, which
he's transferred
I think
over to Sansa, yeah.
I think is kind of his only weakness, because he is letting go of pragmatism.
But even that is not even a weakness, because he knows the only way he's getting to the Iron Throne is with Sansa in tow. He's got no other way. He's got no other claim. He needs her. So, I mean, in some ways, you can look at it as like, yeah, he's being distracted by his heart's desires, but they tend to align with what he's trying to achieve. So, I don't know. Well, that's the thing you don't know about Littlefinger. I'm sitting here, I'm saying I'm 100% sure that he is trying to smash, and that's what his driving focus is. But the reality is, he can't go any farther than he is right now without Sansa as his queen. There's nobody else. There's nobody else in play for him to be able to get a hold of. Everybody else is spoken for in one way or shape or form, and nobody else has the stroke that she has. So he needs her.
Well, there was one person, which was Lysa.
Well, yeah, but she's dead.
He fucking threw her out the window. That's not because he doesn't just care about power. He just fucking is really into Catelyn in a kind of depressing way. So that's kind of his driving force now.
Well, Lysa was stuck in the Vale. He needed the key to the north, which was Winterfell, and that's Sansa. Lysa had a son who was basically on the throne. I mean, there's over there in the Vale. So now I think that it goes back to he needed Sansa, but he's also incredibly in love with her because he sees Catelyn in her. So I don't know. I love. Oh
yeah, and he's failing really hard, just like with Catelyn.
Yeah, he is, because he's a fucking piece of shit, and everybody can see it, and it's wonderful. I love it. I love it. I love the story. What was your favorite part of the episode, by the way?
Ooh, yeah, if I say the Ed Sheeran thing, then everyone will fucking bully me.
That's my favorite scene. That's my favorite scene. That whole scene. That's my favorite scene. It has nothing to do with Ed Sheeran. I don't care about Ed Sheeran. I care about that scene, what it meant for Arya. That's my favorite scene. Great scene.
I think it does, because it really humanizes the Lannister soldiers. And I think it's the kind of point where Arya's realizing that these people actually have lives outside of just being Lannister soldiers. And the actual people. Though, actually, I will say my favorite scene was the starting scene.
Oh, yes.
With Arya dressed up as Walder Frey, with all the Freys in the house.
That was awesome.
Raising a toast, killing every single Frey.
That was amazing.
Was just fucking incredible.
That was amazing.
That was such
It's not getting talked about enough, but the entire sequence with Sam was amazing. That whole thing in the Citadel, that was incredible. Oh my god!
Yeah, I was eating my breakfast during that. That was pretty disgusting, if I'm honest.
Gagging.
Yeah, all the diarrhea and shit, and then he had Jorah Mormont with his grayscale hands coming out.
A lot of people were saying that they didn't think that in the trailer that it was Jorah, that it was going to be somebody else. But I'm glad that they confirmed. There was a lot of things they did in the first episode I don't think a lot of people were expecting, as far as like Bran crossing the wall already. I mean, they did not fuck around. I think that's the most important thing. It's one of the most important things that we've seen in the show, because now that wall's useless, because wherever Bran goes, he's touched by the mark of the Night King. The Night King can follow. So Bran just helped him out.
He has fucked up the wall, and I think maybe at the end of the series we'll see the wall fall. And
I'm expecting the wall to come down. I'm expecting the wall to come down in the final episode. I think that's going to be the last scene of season 7, is the wall coming down.
So, do you think Cersei will survive this series?
No, I do think she's going to die. I know a lot of people are thinking that she might end up surviving, but everything else in the prophecy by Maggie the Frog, Maggie the Toad, I don't know. Everything else that witch fucking said was going to happen has happened perfectly.
Yeah.
So
she's going to be killed by Jamie. It's just a matter
it
of
could be
when.
Tyrion, but I do think it'll be Jamie.
Yeah, we've already seen in the trailers that places like Castle Rock are going to be taken over by the Targaryens.
That's gonna be.
But
awesome.
I don't know. I'm not entirely sure whether the Battle for King's Landing will be this series.
I think the
That'll be the
battle
big
for
one.
this is what I feel. I feel the same episode that we see Castle Rock fall. We will also see the fall. King's Landing is going to be about a half hour. There is nothing to that fight because they don't have any soldiers. They're running out. They're done. It's as soon as Euron Greyjoy, as soon as he's out of the picture in some way, shape, or form, it's done. It's over. Because the Lannisters have nothing to protect. Their soldiers. I think another part of that Arya scene is the disdain that the soldiers have for King's Landing. They called it hell.
Yep.
They called it hell. So I don't know.
It is a shithole, especially with the massive explosion that happened.
Right. It blew up. God, half the town. Half the town. It was awesome. I loved it.
Yep. Oh, that was such a good scene as well. There's so many good scenes in Game of Thrones.
It's I'm the more that I see, the more I'm convinced that it's the greatest show that's ever been. I can't come to another show that's in that league. Everything has a flaw, and now I don't see Game of Thrones fucking up the ending like Lost. Because I got to be honest, up until the last 2 episodes, Lost was my favorite show of all time, and then the last 2 episodes fucked it up so bad that I wanted to kill myself. But I don't see that happening with Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is awesome.
Yeah, did you hear that they're delaying Game of Thrones a year for the last series?
No.
Yeah,
No.
I think I heard that somewhere. They're actually extending it another year just so they actually have a good ending to it.
Oh God, I hope that's not the case. That will. I mean, Jesus, if we go, well, I mean, as long as we get by next July, we get the last season. That's all I care about. I mean, they better not. It better not be 2019 for the last. I'm done. That would kill it. They can't do that. They can't unless they're going to start off one of the spin-offs in that time, which is possible.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, they did do some things badly. Remember Stannis? The last episode that he was alive? That one was shit.
I didn't hate it. But even when they misstep a little bit, I don't feel like they misstep big enough to derail the show. You know, I mean,
I don't think they did Stannis justice. What they kind of did to him was it's just okay. You need to kill this child to stop it from snowing. then all your mercenaries have just left you in the night with all the horses. Oh, now your wife's killed herself, and your entire life's gone to shit. There you go. Go fight the Boltons.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah,
basically. All right, man. Final thoughts. I'm gonna get up out of here. I've been going for an hour and 40 minutes. I'm tired.
So final thoughts are that everyone's going to die, including all the characters you love, especially Tyrion. He's going to be on a pike somewhere.
Oh God, yeah, little half man's head on the pike. There you go.
Yep.
So saith Critical Mess. Thanks, man. I appreciate you calling in.
All right, thank you for having me on.
Take it easy, mate. Good stuff. Critical Mess has got a little YouTube channel, Critical Mess. I think that's the name of it. Go check him out. I probably should have let him go ahead and do that. So thank you guys very much. I think we're done. Oh, Will Wood is right. The whole Dorne storyline was awful. It was, but again, it's not a derailer. It didn't derail anything. The Dorne storyline was bad. I agree with that. But it didn't derail anything. It didn't ruin the show for me. I don't know. All right. Thank you guys very much for joining us right here on Dead on Day Production. We talked some wrestling. We talked some Game of Thrones. We took you guys' calls, your questions, and all that good stuff. Now it's time to go rest. I'm tired. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time. Keep it copious, folks. Check out everything that's going on within the channel and the community. Check out Jeff Huffman, Real Talk to Metaphor Messiah. Check out Ace Trainer Liam. Check out Chrissy Piplup. Check out Groove Dust. Check them all out. Lord Vega. Go show some love. We'll see you next time. Keep it copious, folks. Remember, as always, if you don't have talent, have talented friends. And peace.
Here's your